You've probably been in this situation before. There's a woman in your life, maybe a friend, a co-worker, someone you've known for years, and there's something about the way she looks at you, something in the way she listens, the way her eyes soften when you speak, the way her energy subtly shifts when you're near. She's never said the words, she's never made it obvious. But deep down in your gut, you feel it. That silent pull, that emotional gravity, you start to wonder. Does she feel something more? Is this just kindness or something she doesn't want to say out loud? You see, not all love is spoken. In fact, the deepest kind rarely is, because when a woman truly loves you but hasn't said it, her actions become her only voice. And if you're not paying close attention, you'll miss it. You'll think she's just being polite, just being sweet, just being a friend. But the truth, her love is leaking through the cracks in ways she doesn't even realize. Because when love is real, but hidden, it shows up in patterns, in consistency, in vulnerability, in 1,000 quiet moments that most men overlook. And that's the tragedy. Because a lot of men walk away from women who actually loved them deeply, simply because they didn't recognize the signs they were looking for fireworks. But love showed up in whispers, and those whispers, those subtle, beautiful signals, they're what we're going to decode today. Because once you learn these 11 hidden signs, you'll never again doubt what her silence really means. You'll never again ask, does she love me? Because you already know. And when a woman realizes that you understand her, even when she says nothing, that's when everything changes. Let's begin in a world obsessed with loud declarations, bold moves, and instant gratification. Real love doesn't always show up with flashing lights. Sometimes it hides in the quietest corners of our lives, in moments so small, most men never even notice. She's around you. She talks to you, she smiles, sometimes softly, sometimes nervously. She remembers things you said long ago. She waits for your reply, even though she pretends she doesn't care. She gives you space, but always stays close enough to be found. Not close enough to scare you, but never far enough to be forgotten. And here's the truth. No one tells you when a woman loves you secretly. Her love isn't loud, it's layered, it's complex, it's woven into how she exists around you, without ever needing to name it. She won't always say she loves you, she won't always flirt. She may even act like she's indifferent. But underneath that calm exterior is a quiet war between her heart and her fear, a war between wanting you and not knowing if it's safe to show it. And this is where most men fail. They mistake silence for indifference. They walk away from softness because it didn't scream. They chase after what's obvious and ignore what's real because they don't know how to listen to her without words. They don't know how to read her without assumptions. They don't know how to see her unless she makes it painfully clear, but not you. Because if you're here, you're already different. You're not here for the games. You're not chasing drama. You're not begging for attention. You're here to understand, to observe, to become the kind of man who doesn't need her to say, I love you. Because he already feels it in the way she's breathing next to him. You're here to spot the hidden truths. Because feminine love is rarely loud, but it is constant, and it leaks out in 100 quiet ways. She doesn't even realize she might not say a word, but her hands will hesitate when they brush yours. Her voice will soften when she speaks your name. She'll remember the way you like your coffee and the things that break your spirit. She'll look at you differently, not with desire alone, but with care, with investment, with the quiet hope that you'll notice what she can't bring herself to say. And if you miss those signs, you'll lose her. Not because she gave up, but because she gave you 1,000 chances to notice. And you never did. This video is your blueprint to never make that mistake again. These 11 hidden signs are more than behaviors. They're emotional fingerprints. And once you learn how to read them, you'll finally see what she's been showing you all along, that she's already loving you quietly, carefully, completely. Let's begin one. She cares about you in the smallest, quietest ways without ever saying, "I love you." You don't need to ask. She simply knows you didn't say you were hungry, she brought food. You didn't tell her you had a long day, but she still asks if you're resting. You didn't open up about your struggles yet. She instinctively gives you space or says the exact thing that helps you breathe again. A woman who secretly loves you doesn't make a performance out of caring. She weaves it into the ordinary, where it's nearly invisible to the untrained eye, because, for her, love isn't an act. It's a presence, a consistent force that shapes how she treats you. Worries for you and supports you with no expectation of return. 2. She remembers the things you thought. No one would you casually mention the name of your favourite childhood snack. 2 weeks later, she brings it to you. No occasion, no explanation. You tell her about a goal you had years ago, and she remembers you vent once and never bring it up again. But she still checks in about it. She remembers the things even you forget you said. That's not just thoughtfulness, that's emotional investment. When a woman stores pieces of you in her memory, it's because you matter deeply. She doesn't need to write it down. It stays with her, not in her notes, not in her phone, but in her heart. 3. She acts nervous or awkward around you, even if she's confident with everyone else. She's usually composed, she's clever, put together, socially smooth. But around you, she stumbles on her words, she laughs at things that weren't even funny. She fidgets with her hair, her fingers, her phone, because when a woman is in love but trying not to show it, her body betrays her. Her nerves crack through her calm exterior, and her usual rhythm turns uneven. Why? Because your presence matters, because being seen by you feels important. And when a woman tries hard not to seem like she cares, but keeps giving herself away, that's one of the loudest forms of silent love. 4. She worries about you not because you're weak, but because you're important. She asks you to text her when you get home. She checks in when you're quiet. She reminds you to eat, sleep, rest, and breathe, especially when you act like everything's fine. She's not trying to mother you. She's trying to protect the emotional investment she hasn't admitted out loud. You're not just a guy to her. You're someone whose absence would hurt. And that truth scares her more than she shows love. Doesn't always show up in passion. Sometimes it shows up in anxiety, in protective instincts that say, "Please stay safe because I'd feel your loss." 5. She talks about you in her inner circle, even if you're just a friend. You've never met her sister, but she knows about you. Her best friend teases her when you text. She says things like, "He said something really smart the other day." To people you've never met, you may not be official. You may not even know how she truly feels, but the people who matter to her already know your name, because you're already in her private world. This is emotional inclusion. She's mentally and emotionally placing you in her life long before you realize it. 6. She mirrors your energy, your voice, your phrases, even your mannerisms. You say something in a certain tone. A week later, she uses it back at you, your favorite phrase. It's now showing up in her messages. You lean in, she does too. You become quiet. She matches your softness. It's not copying. It's not imitation. It's unconscious. Emotional synchronization when a woman loves you, even in secret. Her nervous system begins to adapt to yours. Her energy subtly shapes itself around your presence. It's primal, it's instinctive, and it's one of the clearest signs she's emotionally attuned to you. 7. She offers her time even when it's inconvenient for her. She says, "I'll be there." Even when her day is packed, she offers to help. Even when she's tired, she doesn't look for excuses to avoid you. She looks for excuses to be near you when a woman gives you her time, especially when she doesn't have to. That's one of the most overlooked signs of secret love. Time is the most valuable currency we have. And if she keeps spending it on you, it's because your presence fills something in her life. She doesn't want to lose 8. She notices when you're off, even before you speak. You're slightly quieter. Your texts are shorter. You say you're fine. But she hears something else, and without being told, she asks, "What's going on?" A woman who secretly loves you becomes emotionally attuned to you. She learns your patterns. She memorizes your tone. She feels your fluctuations before you even understand them yourself. And she checks in, not because it's polite, but because it's painful for her not to know what's hurting you. 9, she opens up to you about her fears, flaws, and hidden wounds. Not everyone gets to see this version of her with the world she's composed. She's strong, confident, unshakable, but with you, she tells you what broke her, what scares her, what she's still healing from. Why? Because she doesn't need to impress you. She wants to connect with you. She wants to be seen fully, softly, honestly, and that level of vulnerability. It's never shared unless her heart is involved. 10, she imagines a future and secretly includes you in it. She talks about future trips, starting a business, moving somewhere, changing something in her life. And subtly she says things like, "You'd love it there. I could totally see us doing that. Can you imagine living somewhere like that?" That's not small talk. That's mental rehearsal for a life with you in it. She hasn't said she wants a relationship. She hasn't asked for anything, but she's already building an emotional future, and you're already standing in it. 11, she's afraid to lose you, even though she's never had you. She doesn't confess it. She may not even show it directly, but she gets distant when you talk to other women. She gets quiet when you mention leaving, traveling, or moving forward in life without her. She hesitates when she sees your life expanding, and she's not sure if she fits into the picture. That's not jealousy. That's the fear of emotional loss, because even if you've never kissed, even if nothing has been said, you already matter more than she wants to admit. And when a woman fears losing something she never technically had, it means her heart is already evolved whether she says it or not. So now you've seen it, love in its quietest form. Not the fireworks, not the declarations, but the glances, the hesitations, the patterns only a patient, grounded man would ever notice. And that's the difference between most men. And most men walk around blind to emotional nuance. They look for what's loud, what's obvious, what strokes their ego. But you've chosen to see beneath the surface. You've chosen awareness over assumption, depth over drama, clarity over chaos. And if you recognize even 3 of these signs in a woman's behavior, chances are her love is already alive, just hidden, protected, waiting for the right man to make her feel safe enough to reveal it. So don't rush her, don't demand answers, and don't play games. Because the kind of love that grows slowly, the kind that hides in small moments and soft glances, is the kind that stays, and that kind of woman. She's not testing your masculinity. She's testing your patience, your presence, your emotional intelligence. She doesn't want a man who just sees her body. She wants one who understands her soul without her needing to explain it. So what do you do with this knowledge? You become the man who sees the man who listens, not just with his ears, but with his eyes, his intuition, and his calm masculine energy. You become the man she can finally stop hiding from, because when a woman secretly loves you and you respond with steady awareness, that's when her love transforms from hidden to unshakable. Now, if you found even one moment of value in this video, I invite you to be part of this journey. Subscribe to Grandma's Minds, because here we don't chase approval, we seek truth, we cultivate strength, and we decode the unspoken side of male-female psychology that no one teaches you. Tap the bell icon so you never miss another insight like this. Because in a world full of noise, you deserve clarity. And lastly, leave a comment below. Tell me, have you ever felt a woman was in love with you but never said it? Did you recognize the signs, or did you only understand them later? When it was too late, your story might just be the one that helps another man awaken to the truth he's been blind to. Until next time, stay calm, Stay grounded and remember, in silence, real love speaks the loudest. This is Stoic paradox. And now you see what most men never,